Hello and welcome. In this exciting episode, I get out my jacket patterns. In 2023, I had a theme of a colour per month, and next year for 2024, I'm going to have a movie as the inspo for each month and do a capsule collection based on that. But also, in tandem, I want to make a mock-up of every jacket pattern that I own. So there's like 50 or 60 of them. So I thought I would group them and sort of go through them and be like, well, this will be good for an Audrey Hepburn movie. This will be good for one in the 1980s. This will be good for Titanic, those sort of things. So let's get to it. It's perfect. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Perfect jacket. So I was working on all the jackets so I could film everything I made in September, everything I made in October, and everything I made in November videos. But there's still a little bit of hand sewing to go with that. So I put them aside for a bit and I got out all my jacket patterns, and we are filming this one now. So originally there was a section here where I talked about the films that were going to be my inspo. So I'm going to, instead of having a color as the theme each month, I'm going to have a movie. And I was going to go through all the films, but the section is 15 minutes long. So I've moved it to the end of this video. So, because I know it's not really for everyone. We get the general idea. Awesome movies, and you just want to do a capsule collection based on one each month or one every 2 weeks. So a couple a month. So that's the general idea. And fashion documentaries. I'm going to do a month where I do fashion documentaries so I can get the avant-garde jackets out of my system, and I won't try and squeeze them into every single other month. So that's the general idea. And rom-coms, historical dramas, those sort of things. So I got out the big box of all my jacket patterns and I dumped them all over my desk. So here goes. I was a bit overwhelmed at first. I was like, should I divide them into vintage and normal? But then, I don't know, a lot of the blazers and jackets look very 1980s to me anyway, like just the regular day ones. So I think we'll just sort of peck at them to start with. And once because it's like almost 60, I think, and we'll go from there. So this is the first one. This is the most obvious one. In While You Were Sleeping, that Sandra Bullock movie, she wears a big coat. I don't think anything else in that movie is particularly memorable. So maybe in February for Valentine's Day, I'll have like a whole month where I just do random, like each week I can focus on Sandra Bullock or Meg Ryan, that sort of thing. I don't know. Anyway, this one, I haven't seen The Marvelous Miss Maisel, but everyone raves about it. And this sort of seems like that type of costume or era clothing. I actually like the shorter one myself, but I really do think all of them look absolutely gorgeous, and I would love to do a mock-up of this at the very least. So I thought that is one that might be doable. And as you can see, I haven't made the Egyptian tweed up into a jacket yet. And this is another one. Maybe I'll just have a vintage month. Or there's that Audrey Hepburn wears that gorgeous green one when she's walking down the stairs in the Louvre in Funny Face. And I love that pink and red ensemble on the vintage packet of the jacket. And this one reminds me of Meg Ryan in You've Got Mail, wears a lot of boyish outfits until right at the end where she wears a dress. So I thought I like these trousers and the jacket, but unfortunately the smaller size is 10. So I definitely have to make a mock-up of this rather than just going straight to good fabric. So yeah, I thought maybe You've Got Mail, because there's a floral jacket that I want to make, because the last scene in the movie is in a garden, the 91st Street Community Garden in Riverside Park. So yeah, I I definitely want the excuse to make the floral jacket, but I would also make a mock-up of this one. And this cape, well, all of them really, they just seem so Audrey Hepburn. The red one in particular seems very Audrey Hepburn in several movies. And the black one with the turban looks like, you know how in Breakfast at Tiffany's the guy upstairs is having an affair with a married woman? That's what the married woman looks like. I think she's Kay Thompson, who wrote the Eloise story, the Eloise books. Anyway, Paul Varjak, that's the character's name. If it is Kay Thompson, she's also the one who plays the editor in Funny Face, and she sings that song Think Pink. Anyway, this is very 1950s, 1960s, and there's a movie with Renelle Zellweger and Ewan McGregor called Down with Love. And yeah, I have a pink and white check fabric that I could use to make that jacket. Anyway, this is another While You Were Sleeping jacket, or there's a 1980s movie called Jumping Jack Flash starring Whoopi Goldberg, and she wears a big coat as well. So I don't know. I don't even have enough wool or tweed to make one of those, but I'll make a mock-up anyway. My favourite one is the one at the bottom that's short and has a hood. So maybe I don't know, the kid from Sleepless in Seattle, maybe? I don't know. Now, tweed jackets. I have lots of Chanel style jackets that I want to mock up and see if any of them are ones that I want to make in tweed. But I don't know. If you know any movie, otherwise I'll just sort of shoehorn them into, I've got, like at least a dozen of them. So I'll just do a couple every month until they're done. Anyway, so then we have, I think, Halloween, there's like lots of horror movies with little dolls that are creepy. So I thought maybe October next year I'll do a creepy doll month and use my Chanel, make up all my Chanel style doll jacket patterns. I don't know. That's a little bit random. I don't even watch horror movies unless they're written and directed by Jordan Peele. Anyway, these are sort of the Gucci style Chanel jackets. I've actually made a mock-up of that, but I sort of squared out the corners, see how they're round. So maybe I'll make another one and just do it as it is and not change it. Like do the first mock-up as is and then on camera make the changes. This is a pirate one, so I guess I'll do it for a pirate movie. I haven't seen any of the pirate movies, so that's a bit random. Or maybe there's something steampunk that I've seen but I've forgotten I've seen. I don't know. Anyway, I actually think I would much prefer it just as a jacket rather than as a big long coat. So I might just mock up the bodice of it, if you get what I mean. But yeah, and this one, Breakfast at Tiffany's, the one on the right, but the tan colour of the middle one, at the end when she's chasing Audrey Hepburn, goes out of the taxi and tries to find the cat in the rain. She's wearing a Burberry trench coat. So, I mean, it's a tenuous link, isn't it? But I thought that one would be good for that. This one is obviously Titanic. But again, I feel like everyone's done this pattern and I would crop it. I would have it much shorter at the back and a little bit longer at the front, but not the full length. So I'm not sure if I'll do it. I just might sort of slip it in between capsule collections because I'm not really interested in doing the whole, doing a whole Titanic capsule wardrobe. I think some months I'll just do one thing, like a week of this, a week of that sort of thing. I do like Regency, and Kate Winslet was in Sense and Sensibility, so maybe I'll do that. This one, it has the bones that you could turn it into a Dior bar jacket. So if you sort of see the back of it, you can sort of just make the bottom of each panel a little wider, and it would very easily turn into a bar jacket. And there's a fashion feature-length documentary called Dior and I about Ralph Simard's first collection for Dior. So I thought that would be a good one. This one reminds me of Amelie, that French movie. Apparently it was never very popular in America, but everywhere else in the world you go, you say Amelie, everyone knows the movie. And I do have some red wool, and I think that would be beautiful in that one. But I have to make a mock-up first because, yeah, older patterns, the dimensions are very different to what ours are. I guess it's like their undergarments were old-fashioned, vintage bras are quite different than ours. I wear a t-shirt bra pretty much all the time. This one, I love how the lapels are basically a second layer of fabric. It's really weird. This is another sort of Doris Day, Jackie O type situation, and there's lots of vintage movies in that. There's an Audrey Hepburn one with Cary Grant's How to Catch a Thief, and she wears vintage Valentino. I think that would be good for that one. This is right before the Dior New Look, so World War II movie or something. I'm not sure. I like, I like Pixar movies, and I like documentaries, and I like reading books. I'm not very good at like the movies that I love. I don't necessarily watch them for fashion. And even ones like The Devil Wears Prada, I've seen it quite a few times, but it doesn't strike me as particularly cutting edge fashion wise. I mean, it's enjoyable to watch, but I wouldn't consider it my fashion Bible or anything. This, I've seen the original vintage Vogue pattern of this, and it was actually a sort of calf length coat. And I think the pleat in the back makes sense if you have to sit down in it, because, I've got wide hips and a big, larger than average athletic butt. So I understand why you need the pleat in the back if it's a jacket. I mean, if it's a full length coat. But as a jacket, I don't understand the pleat in the back really. So I might lengthen that to its original length instead of just, because I think it looks too much like a maternity jacket if it's that length. So anyway, I'm not even halfway through, so I have to hurry up here. So these are ones that, I don't know, I just sort of divided them into piles at this point. These ones are obvious, so they're actually costume ones. So that's from Cruella. I don't think it looks particularly Cruella, but I don't know. I'm also going to do a fashion documentary month and one of them is Alexander McQueen. So maybe I do try that one, do a mock-up of that for McQueen week, whatever it is. This is very steampunk. Again, I think it would work really well as a jacket. So I might just do a mock-up of the bodice of this one rather than the entire thing. And I don't know what movie for. I guess Lemony Snicket. Isn't that a bit steampunk? I'm not sure. This one, I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. I can't think of a movie that it would sort of suit. I think I'll just have like a generic vintage month every now and again. But I do like, because the skirt kind of looks like Clueless, that suit that Cher wears in Clueless. So I like the idea of setting Clueless in different periods of history and just buying like a whole bolt of a certain type of fabric or like doing checked looks or tartan looks from all different eras in history. I think that would be cool. And these are obviously like, I want a whole month for Jane Austen. I was very tempted in November because Bingley's ball, the dance that he has at his place is on the 26th of November. I was so tempted to do one then, but I was like, no, I'll get all the Chanel style jackets done. This one here with the bright yellow is more historically accurate and the other one's more costumey. So I think I'll probably do the two historically accurate ones, and I'm not sure about the other one. And this one, Emperor's New Groove, is one of my absolute favourite films. And one of the characters wears a poncho. So that's my excuse for this one. But yeah, I love that movie so much. I love Theatre of the Absurd so much. And I think I'd probably just rant too much if I did it though. These ones are all dolman sleeves. I think it would be useful to do all these jackets together, all these mock-ups together. Anywho, these ones all seem like very 1980s to me. I don't know. This one I like from the front, but I do not like the back. Like, again, it's got a yoke, and I don't feel like outerwear jacket should have a yoke. And I don't know. So I might change the back on that one just to make it a flat one-piece back, one or two-piece or three-piece back, but not have a yoke at the top, just be a full back piece, if you get what I mean. But I do like the fronts of them, so I don't know. The whole point of doing an easy Vogue is to make it easy though. So I'm not sure if I change stuff, if it'll be too difficult for people. These three are very similar. One of them has a higher back, so it's high-low, the blue one. And these two are the red and the other one. I think the only difference between those two is the sleeve length. I think Vogue is a little bit tricky there sometimes. They just re-release the same thing over and over. And these ones, I like the shorter one on the left, the cropped one. But yeah, I thought they're all interesting and I would like to know which one works best. So I definitely want to make mock-ups of them all. This one, I love the macaroon colours of the one on the right. And the other one, I mean, it's just a coat. You could sort of, you know, tie it into any movie that has some autumn or winter scenes, really. But yeah, I do love Marie Antoinette, that movie. And so I would love an excuse to do sort of a whole month of pastel things. That would be awesome. And motorcycle jackets, I don't know, maybe a movie about assassins or something. A bit random. I think I said once that one jacket wasn't stretch fabric, that I was going to use woven, but it is actually for a knit. So I think I know how to work out the ease on a knit to make it a woven. So I might do that, maybe. I don't know if it's too fiddly and uninteresting, but I would like to figure out how to, because I've got a couple of fake leather. They're not real leather, what's it called, like pleather or whatever. So yeah, and yet more Chanel style jackets. I love the cuffs of this one with the buttons, so I really want to try that out. I probably won't take the whole jacket, like I'm pretty married to the two Chanel style jacket patterns I like at the moment, but there are elements of other jacket patterns that I can see myself incorporating and sort of Frankensteining together a really like the perfect jacket, as the channel name suggests. This one has fringe in it, which is interesting to decide to build that into your jacket pattern. So yeah, there's a couple of, and I haven't done any pad stitching, you know, when you have lapels to make them turn out properly. This one is, it's just so Mary Poppins or something from a musical. I absolutely love it. This one, oh my gosh, you know that scene in Sound of Music where she kind of gets kicked out of the Abbey for being, you know, not doing her chores and always being late to mass. Yeah. And she sings I Have Confidence, and she's wearing their clothes that the poor didn't want. I love that jacket and I love that carpet bag. And yeah, there's a couple of Berta jackets. Every time I look at them, I'm flicking through my patterns, I start singing that song because it reminds me so much of that jacket. But in a nice way. It sounds like I'm saying it in a making fun of way, but I'm not. I genuinely love the outfit she wears and I would totally wear it. So yeah. Which, if you've seen my fabric hauls, you'll know that because I actually bought a brown cotton that I'm going to turn into the dress from, or the skirt from that scene of the movie. Anyway, these are just some other vintage ones. One of them is just a shirt, two different shirts, but they look like they could very easily be changed into jackets. So I'll make a cotton mock-up and then go from there. This one, I think I like the jacket length more than the coat length, just personally. And yeah, I think that's it. Goodness me. So if you have any ideas for specific, I mean, I'm just doing mock-ups, so they're just going to be cotton anyway, so they're not technically going to be part of the capsule wardrobe. But I thought if I'm doing movie themes anyway and something fits something, then yeah, I should sort of put them all in their little categories. And that is it for the jacket sewing patterns portion of the program. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you're not getting too stressed out this December and that you're having fun. So, but yeah, if you want to hear about my movie themes for next year, stick around. Otherwise, I will see you. My next video is tomorrow because Vlogmas, you do a video every day. And tomorrow's one is about the structural layer of Chanel jacket. So I'll give you a little potted history about Chanel, how she sort of developed her, you know, she started making hats and then jackets, and then there was a problem with the jackets, so she did some sort of structural elements, and I'll just talk about that. But for now, after I shot this, I went and did some hand sewing, so here's some footage of that. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and now we're going to talk about movies. Yay! And then I still have some more hand sewing to do, so yeah, there is that. Okay, I had a coffee and some shortbread, delicious, and we are back. So as I said, January is going to be Desperately Seeking Susan month, mostly because I love this jacket and I love the idea of two people having the same piece but just styling it in a completely different way. Madonna character Susan wears this in the second half, but it actually belongs to Roberta, the Arquette character. At the start of the movie, she's in her own house, having a party in her own house, and her clothes are wearing her. She's not wearing them. And I really love the idea that you can become more yourself by your clothes, or that you have such a strong sense of who you are that it almost transforms the clothes. This is hands down my favorite production still from this movie. I think this is the only reason I love Cheeto. I also love the way Jeremy Scott uses pop culture references in his design, so I wanted to do something like that. Pretty in Pink. Watching old movies, they are problematic. You know, post Me Too movement, you look at stuff and you're like, yikes. But I love her friend Leona. She just like wears these she just throws herself into different genres of fashion. And I just wanted to pick apart that. And Audrey Hepburn, oh my gosh, she's been in so many amazing movies. But I mean, she's also was just such a decent human being, and fighting, working with the French resistance during World War II as a teenager. She's just awesome. And then working with the UN after. And she's just amazing. Plus, I mean, Roman holiday, gorgeous setting, and beautiful separates like skirts and tops in that one. Funny face is couture, like she's a bookish girl, and she like Vogue America basically sends her over to Paris. So it's gorgeous cities as well. I love New York. I love Paris. So yeah, and Sabrina, all the Givenchy gowns basically. Sabrina's, there's that gorgeous black and white one. So I thought I'd do a black jacket and use white beading on it, maybe something like that. I know Grace Kelly wore gorgeous gowns, but I mean, where can you wear a gown? So, I mean, I love them, but I'm not sure I want to make any because I'll just have to store them. Romeo and Michelle's High School Reunion. I love this movie, but again, where are you going to wear an outfit like that? But at the end, they own a store and they make stuff for themselves and their friends. So I am like tempted by the idea of if you owned a fashion boutique, what would you have in it? And yeah, how would you custom design things? And of course, Clueless, as I said during the pattern section, I'd love to do Clueless but set in different eras. I think that would just be hilarious. And I love these pink outfits. I love the idea of, if you like weddings, each bridal member of the bridal party having their own personality reflected in the outfit. I really like that, sort of customizing a uniform to fit each particular person. And these are just the different Clueless style looks through the years. So this is vintage Dior, I think 1972, Versace from a few years ago. And these are a bunch of different ones. They look gorgeous together. Oscar de la Renta from the year before that the Clueless, the movie, came out. Dior, and then this is the outfit I was talking about with Sound of Music. I love that movie so much. And then you know how Maria makes the Von Trapp family outfits out of the curtains. I have a few large carts of fabric, of cotton, and I just want to pull out 6 or 7 different patterns and make them all up. And this is the French movie Amélie, and I did a fabric haul back in August where it was all just like ones that look like vintage wallpaper plus red and green. In the movie, it was low budget, so they just kept it plain colours, but I want to do one with lots of different patterns. Still the whole capsule wardrobe, mainly red and green, but with patterns. I love that mint green Lena Lamont outfit, and I love the dark green, that emerald green Sid Sarit's dress. She just looks so cool. I first watched that movie when I was a kid, and when she blows smoke out of her nose, I thought she looked as cool as Puff the Dragon. Yeah, I'm very hip. Legally Blonde, I know it's supposed to be about fashion, and I do love red and pink together, but none of the outfits. Oh, I like that. I like the neckline of that jacket. Down with Love, as I said, mainly to use up my pink and white tweeds. I do have a mauve and white tweed, but yeah. And then Devil Wears Prada. I think people think it is fashionable rather than any of the outfits are actually, yeah, they're all a little too safe for me, but that's just my, black and black, brown and black, and white and black, they're not the most astounding combinations, but I mean, they're nice enough. If you've got lots of money, then of course buy good quality, expensive stuff. And then, yeah, I definitely want a fashion documentaries month. In the September issue, Grace Coddington, the one with red hair, does this amazing shoot at Versailles. And I love the embellishment on those Chanel jackets. And there's also my garbage fabric that I want to make into a jacket, Iris. All my boldest prints I'll use in that week. Advanced Style, that's a really good documentary. If you're thinking about how to advance your own, how to up your own style, I definitely recommend that one because there's different types of personalities in there. Oh my gosh, if you've never seen Bill Cunningham, New York, he was just the street fashion photographer. And obviously he was so much more than that. Just a decent human being and such great taste and style, and he did so much for the industry. Diana Vreeland, the I Must Travel, oh my gosh, she's awesome. Love her references. She was hilarious and just extravagant in the coolest, most awesome way. And so now we're back to the movies. While you're sleeping, there's nothing really in there except the coat, but I just thought it was, when I saw that jacket, it was that coat pattern. It was the first thing I thought of. But I do like snow globes. Sleepless in Seattle. I'm really not sure why I included that one, but I do love New York City. So, editing me cutting in here, I remember why. I had tomato and lettuce on toast for lunch. So, and that's what she orders. Anyway, little bit random. I love the Lily of the Valley flowers here. Dior uses Lily of the Valley flower motifs. Love her apartment, so totally want that New York apartment. This is the 91st Street Community Garden in Riverside Park, and I am so totally going to use it. It's only on screen for like 10 seconds, 15 seconds, something like that. I love the bookstore too. Anyway, I am going to use that as an excuse to make another floral jacket because I've only made one so far, the yellow one, and I'm very disappointed with myself. These are more pictures. If ever you are in New York, definitely take time to go to Riverside Drive Park. It's absolutely gorgeous, especially in like spring or summer. In the movie behind them, you can see delphiniums and iris and some white lilies. But in the bookshop, there's orange. The first one I thought of was a purple and blue floral jacket to match this setting. But yeah, I also like the idea of using up the ones that are currently on the tree. When I take them down, I could just start making the the autumn jacket for that. I haven't even got to any of the Julia Roberts ones. Anyway, I think this video is long enough. I have jackets to finish, but yeah, in the Pelican brief, Julia Roberts wears an Armani suit in olive khaki green, which I love. And right at the end, again, there's this gorgeous floral garden she's sitting near watching a TV program with Denzel Washington on it, and it's got gorgeous red poppies and it's all colourful. So yeah, I thought if I want to make a colourful floral jacket, that would be the one. And also in Notting Hill, there's where Hugh Grant, where she breaks his heart. Then he walks through Notting Hill and the seasons change, and I could do an autumn floral jacket for that because I've got these really cool autumn leaves that I want to use up. Ooh, I like the jacket she wears to the dinner party too. That's beautiful. It's silk with embroidery. That's, yeah, gorgeous. But I've got that machine embroidery that I could make. Anyway, and also, oh, I love My Best Friend's Wedding. It's a retelling of Sense and Sensibility, but from Lucy Steele's perspective instead of the Dashwoods. Very cool. But yeah, and it's got some nice fashion things in there too. She chooses interesting movies. I like it. Anyway, I have to really go and do that hand sewing. Thank you so much for sticking around. Let me know what movies you think I should be doing. Oh, this is so, Valentino, the last few seasons, like the last 5-10 years. And oh, I love this suit in Sound of Music, and Audrey Hepburn, always. She's gorgeous and such a beautiful person. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. And yeah, let me know what movies I should be watching because clearly I haven't seen very many. I read books mostly. And yeah, I'm going to go now. Happy sewing.